Hey, Bina. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our UCS Workshop Wednesday. Today, where we're going to be talking about career fair prep and allow you to practice your pitch. While we wait to get started, please scan the QR code on the screen to sign in to the workshop. Enter the 7-digit UHID, which is your PSID number, and then press enter. So please check in so that we can register your attendance for today. Hi all, as you enter, please scan the barcode on the screen to check in and register your attendance with us. Follow the instructions on the screen. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to Workshop Wednesday with UCS, where we're going to talk about career fair prep. As we wait to get started, as there are still students entering the room, please follow the instructions on the screen, sign in so that we can register your attendance for today. Okay, we are gonna go ahead and get started with today's presentation. I hope everybody had enough time to sign in. We really appreciate that. So today we are talking about career fair prep as we have a career mixer coming up tomorrow. So some of you may be preparing for the career mixer, or you're preparing for some sort of networking event, or you're here to just figure out what all this is all about. So welcome. Thank you for being here. So before we get going, I want to know what kind of misconceptions you all, or what kind of, not misconceptions, but what kind of conceptions you all have of networking. Very quickly in the chat, type out what you believe networking is. We have about a minute for everybody to pop in the chat and write a perception or of networking, the what you perceive it to be, what you've been told about networking, those types of things. I need to see at least 3 people in the chat before we can move on. Awesome, Jacqueline. Getting to know people specifically professionally and a little but personal, like hobbies, etc. Sharing contact information like email or phone number. All right, who else? We have 8 folks in the workshop today, and only 1 person has entered something in the chat. Guys, we believe in interaction in our workshop. So I'm going to need you to hop in that chat and tell me what you think networking means or is. All right, Eli, connecting with people in similar professional careers that can help you in your growth or job search in the future. Awesome. Jacqueline and Eli are on it. Bina said, connecting and talking to people. We have a hand raised. Ivan, you'd like to contribute?
Hi, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So I don't have access to the chat, but my answer was I think networking is expanding your connections and resources, reaching out to people to expand your circle.
Very good. Exactly. That's exactly what networking is. Thank you, Ivan. And then Daniel says, connecting with friends, family, and colleagues. So what I'm seeing from all 5 answers is connecting, or getting to know, which is connecting. Yes, the core of networking is creating, building, and maintaining connections. These can be professional connections, these can be social connections, these can be familial connections. But yes, it's connecting with people so that you can build a network of people who are resourceful, who act as a resource and also have resources that you are able to tap into for a variety of reasons. A lot of times networking is what motivates us or inspires us to continue on with our goals and dreams. Sometimes networking, like Ivan said, expands our reach and our understanding of our profession or whatever environment this networking is relevant to. So yeah, so some networking misconceptions. These are things that people think, what they think about networking. So networking consists of career fairs, big company events, and maybe a few smaller special events. So networking can be that way, but it's not always that way. So there are a ton of different ways to network. Like this mentioned, there are career fairs. Of course, there are big company events, but there are also mixers like what we're hosting tomorrow. There are happy hours. There are professional organization events. There are meet and greets. There are you can host a informational interview, which is a form of micro networking. Then there's social media networking, so LinkedIn, different things like that, creating a social media presence, expanding your brand. Those are all different ways of networking. So, identify what those types of networking are that really vibe with your energy to identify what are some good steps for you to take as far as entering the networking context. Okay. So with networking, I need to brag about myself. A lot of people feel like when you go and network that you're bragging, you're selling yourself, you're, doing all these different things, and that can really make you uncomfortable. But good networking involves more active listening, more asking relevant questions. It's sharing your experiences and what's relevant to them about you. So you strategize how you network. It's not just a conversation where you're running up and you're saying, here's all the reasons why I'm awesome. Please hire me or please be my friend. It's totally different from that. Okay, networking misconception number 3. I'm not the most confident or extroverted, so I don't think networking works for me. Here's the answer to that. Find out what is right for you. There are so many environments where networking takes place, so many different contexts. There are so many different types of networking. For introverts, they may really enjoy online networking. For extroverts, they might really like those happy hours and the different networking events that different professional organizations might throw. It's all about finding your vibe and then taking the initiative to go out and pursue it. Okay, so once we're ready to network, we've realized what our networking style is, and we've decided to come to the liberal arts mixer tomorrow at UH. So how do we begin? Well, first you have to prepare and know how to impress. Like I mentioned, identify your networking style. Decide what settings you will attend. Do you like happy hours? Do you like career fairs? Do you like the ability to have more one-on-one conversations? Or do you like those big, quick elevator pitch type conversations? Do you prefer to attend with more than one person? Or do you want to go alone? Sometimes it's easier to bring a friend with you. Sometimes you're kind of like, nope, I need to focus. I don't need anybody distracting me. I need to just go to this networking event and independently navigate it. Decide on how many people or companies you can confidently talk to while you're there. So, what companies you did your research, right? And you saw all the companies that are going to be present. You figured out which companies you want to talk to, but realistically, how many How many of them do you have it in you to go and give your elevator pitch and initiate a conversation? Is it all of them, or are you like maxed out at 5? So, decide those things ahead of time to identify your networking style. Okay, then you're going to set achievable goals. You have to have a goal when you're going to network, especially when you're going to a career fair. You need to decide, I'm going to this event, and to what end? What is the outcome that I'm looking for? So to set those achievable goals, you need to ask yourself, how many people will I talk to or introduce myself to? Is this including different recruiters and different employers, or is this also including colleagues that are present at the event? Do I want to give my information out to various colleagues in different fields, or am I only focusing on recruiters? What is your plan? Okay, so how many LinkedIn connections will you ask for? Once you decide ahead of time, I'm going to be on it. I'm going to make sure that I make LinkedIn connections. I'm going to open my phone. I'm going to have the app open. I'm going to be ready to type their name in. And you decide, how you will do that, when you will do that, if you will do that. And then you are more prepared for the technical part of these social interactions that are a part of networking. What event will you attend this month? Will it be a career fair? Will it be a panel? Will it be a special event? Will it be a happy hour networking event? Will it be a mixer? Deciding is the first step of attending, deciding to go. Okay, so reflect on first impressions. When you're going to these different networking events, you want to make sure that you are leading with a good first impression. What characteristics do you show when you introduce yourself? Do you tend to be a little more shy? Your voice is a little softer, you're a little more indirect? Or are you a straightforward, hello, my name is, kind of person where introducing yourself is easy? This is important to know so that you can determine what areas you can improve upon when it comes to making first impressions. Typically, you want to make eye contact, be direct, be bold, introduce yourself, shoot your elevator pitch, and get into this conversation. So really think about what characteristics you show when you introduce yourself. Are you presenting as bold and confident, or are you presenting as meek, uncertain about yourself, and less confident? Okay, well, what does your body language show when you're talking and when you're not talking? So our body language tends to communicate more than our words will. What we are saying with our posture, what we're saying with our facial expressions, even the way we hold our head can convey whether we're listening or disrespecting. Crossing of the arms. For me, when I want to be comfortable, I cross my arms. It feels like a big hug. But there are some people where this type of body language is off-putting. So I have to know that if I'm going to a networking event, I'm going to kind of mirror the body language that they have versus crossing my arms and potentially closing myself off to someone. Okay, does your attire reflect professionalism? This is a big component. You want to make sure that your clothes are neat and tidy, that you are wearing, that you are adhering to the dress code, that you are wearing business casual or business professional clothing. You want to make sure that you are kempt from head to toe. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to come in glam, pow, 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 but you need to be able to carry yourself respectively. And this means reflecting professionalism with what you choose to wear. Okay, do you seem enthusiastic and positive? Is that something that you are conveying? Are you taking the initiative to, offer a handshake and walk up to them and hand your resume out? Or are you kind of hanging in the shadows, not really making eye contact, off in the corner, not really taking initiative? Which one is you? Did you thank the people that you spoke with? This is a really important key as well. A lot of times people will have conversations with people and then just walk away. But what you do to tie the bow on a first impression is to thank that person for their time, for their energy, and for taking the moment to converse with you about whatever y'all talked about. And that's also a perfect time to say, before we go our separate ways, can I get your contact information? Okay, so practice your go-to talking points. How do you develop these talking points? So if you're at a career fair or a special event, you need to research the companies ahead of time to create talking points. One talking point could be what you are really interested about this person's background or about their field or what they do. So a talking point could be, can you tell me more about your company? Can you tell me more about the day in the life of a data analyst? What's your favorite part of the job? What extra certifications or credentialing did you get to where you are? There's research is a part of the preparation process for any networking event. And so knowing more about what's going to go on there is going to help you come up with conversation starters, talking points, things you want to mention, parts about you that you'd like to clarify, from your resume. All those different things are going to help you carry on an effective conversation. Okay, strategize. This is important. You don't want to just go into a career fair or a networking event blind. You want to know who's going to be represented there. So once you research the employers that are going to be present at the event or research the organizations that are going to be represented, you can rank your top companies and build up to your favorite within the time limits of the event. But you can start with low pressure, someone who's an organization that's kind of low on your list. Get your practice out with them. And then once you're feeling really confident, nice and warmed up, then you go and talk to your top ranking companies and really shine your light. So strategizing who you're going to talk to, about what time you're going to talk to them, those are all really important things to consider when going to a career fair or networking event. So here's what it looks like to research the employers at different career fairs here at UH through Cougar Pathway. When you click further information about the career fair, it's going to bring up a list that looks a little bit like this. And you'll be able to see how many representatives are attending. The least representatives sometimes will mean a longer line. So prepare yourself for that. The more representatives, potentially the faster that line may go. So you might want to prioritize who you're going to speak to, which line you're going to stand in so that you can get the longest over with. That everybody has their own strategy. Treat it like you would treat a line at Disneyland. This will help you strategize with what you want to do at the networking event. Here is another just picture of the list, how things show up. You can click on them through Cougar Pathway, and they will give you all the information about the organization. They will give you links to positions that they might have open right now. It'll give you a summary of what they're looking for in positions, and all those different things. So researching ahead of time is a key component of career fair prep. Now, what does professional attire look like? These are some examples. So see here in these images, you have business professional as well as business casual. So the man in the suit and tie, that's business professional. The picture all the way to the right with the individual sitting down on a bench, they're wearing business professional. The two pictures in the center, those are cute, trendy business casual. So kind of get an idea of what you are most comfortable with, what you are most confident in, and how you can portray that. Okay. So an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is really important. This is like a quick summary of who you are, your status as a student or graduate, your major, a little bit about your academic history, your overarching goal, your motivations for talking with that specific company. All those different things are how you pitch yourself to a recruiter. Here is a video that talks a little bit about, it talks a little bit about, or it gives you an idea of what a elevator pitch looks like. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. Okay, it's a little low, but can everyone hear this? Raise your hand if you can hear.
No, I can't hear.
I can't hear it, Asha.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's try now.
I can hear it low,
Okay,
really low.
it's a really low video.
Hello, my name is Yasmin Zainal Abedin, and I am a recent graduate of the University of Houston, obtaining my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, double minoring in English and Sociology with summa cum laude honors. I work closely with children and families in my work experiences and years of tutoring, and I'm interested in entering fields with a focus on education, mental health, and social service. It's nice to meet you all.
Okay, great. So in the chat, I would like you to take a moment and mention a key point of that elevator pitch that you noticed. I want to see what y'all are seeing as important about an elevator pitch. And like I mentioned, we interact in these workshops, so I need to see some interaction in the chat. Yes, I can play it one more time and give everybody a chance to think.
Hello, my name is Yasmin Zainal Abedin, and I am a recent graduate of the University of Houston, obtaining my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, double minoring in English and Sociology with summa cum laude honors. I've worked closely with children and families in my work experiences and years of tutoring, and I'm interested in entering fields with a focus on education, mental health, and social service. It's nice to meet you all.
Okay. All right, so you saw that elevator pitch. Now give me some things that you noticed that were good about that elevator pitch, things that you saw and consider to be important. Go ahead, Ivan.
So what I noticed was she provided some personal details and experiences, but along with a personal goal, professional goal, as it would refer to like what career she'd like to focus on.
Awesome. Yes, exactly. Eli. Or is it Ellie?
Good afternoon. It's Ellie.
Hey.
Yeah, and basically it was a brief introduction, and like my colleague said, it was like show of interest of what she's basically looking into, with some highlights of major achievements.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Anybody else? Going once. Going twice. Okay, so when it comes to an elevator pitch, yes, all the things that she did are keys. So she shared who she is as a student, as a recent graduate. Then relevant past experiences. This is where you could talk about academic experiences, work experiences, experiences out in the community or in student organizations, things that are relevant. Then she mentioned her overarching goal, what her professional goals were. And then that is always a perfect segue to say, and that's why I'm here at the Career Fair talking to you, because your organization really speaks to my own personal and professional values and goals. You know, it's just a perfect way to just tie it all up in a bow. So now we're going to talk about what our points would be. So like I already mentioned, who you are and what you've been doing. So if this were me, I would say, hi there, my name is Asha Wilson. I serve as a career development specialist at University of Houston. What makes you unique are your accomplishments are co-curricular. I am a social worker. I've been registered and licensed in Louisiana, and I'm currently working on my goal of being licensed in Texas. I have worked with those dealing with trauma and grief, and my overarching goal is to specialize in this area and work in mental health. So do you see how I'm talking a little bit about what I've accomplished, how I accomplished it, my career goal, what's my why? You know, so I really enjoy working with survivors of trauma, and especially mothers who have experienced previous birth trauma. This is something that has made me want to be a certified doula and social worker for postpartum mothers. Now I'm mentioning a unique niche, an overarching career goal. That's my why. My call to action. This may be more applicable in person, but this is where you say, I'd really love to get your contact. I'd really love to connect with you more. Ask for their business card, see if they'd be willing to set up a meeting with you. But also, now's the time to end your elevator pitch with an open-ended question. You're now going to put the ball in their park because you have given them your elevator pitch, all the things about you, what's relevant about you for them, and now it's their turn to respond to you. That's the call to action. Now you want them to give you their contact, give you their business card, connect on LinkedIn, set up an informational interview. Or continue to talk more about the field, more about their organization, their mission, vision, values, how that aligns with you. It's always good to keep the question, how do their mission, vision, and values align with mine? That's a good question to keep at the top of your mind, because as you're having a conversation with them, you're able to meet them where they are and talk about something relevant, but that is also personal and can speak to your strengths. Oh, wow, I would really love to work for this organization as you guys provide services to mothers peripartum and postpartum. And I really would love to have the opportunity to contribute to your service delivery plan, which I understand has 5 pillars and blah, 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 blah. Do you see how one can lead into the other? As long as you prepare and you're mentally ready to go through relevant topics in conversation, you're ready for an elevator pitch and you're ready for a conversation with a recruiter. Now, what's really important is the follow-up. We can also call this follow through. So you're leaving a good impression in person. This is great, but you really want to follow up with a written reminder of your skills and potential. So that would look like a quick message on LinkedIn, a quick email because you have their business card, something like that. And you say, hey, it was really great meeting you at the Liberal Arts Mixer at University of Houston and learning about your organization focusing on creative education for children. I remember you mentioned that y'all are based on Montessori techniques, but there's some other techniques that you're based off of as well. I'd really love to find out more about that. I'd love to support your preschool this summer. Please let me know if there are any potential opportunities. I look forward to hearing from you soon. So see, you just wrapped up this entire process, this entire interaction in a nice little bow at the end, because you've reached out, which allows you to continue building the connection that we've already talked about is the key point to networking. You're going to build this connection, and then you're going to maintain that connection by continuing active communication. So a follow-up can be all sorts of things. Get creative, you know what I mean? So in summary, we have talked about what networking is and what it isn't, the different areas of networking, how to create and prepare a first impression, how to prepare for the career fair by researching the employers that are going to be there, how to create your elevator pitch, and the different ways that you can carry yourself professionally. Now that we have done that, I want to open the floor to give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions, one that I may not have spoken about, or if you need clarification about anything that we have discussed. Y'all have the floor. Go ahead, Ivan.
Okay, so when you said when you talked about receiving their contact information, is that something you would advise doing towards the end of your interaction with them? Like
Yeah.
LinkedIn, business
So
card?
honestly, it could be at any point in the interaction. Maybe you're talking and then they say something that piques your interest and you say, "Oh, I'd love to continue talking to you more about that. Can I have your contact information?" And then you continue with your conversation. Or you can wait until the very end of the interaction and then say, "Well, it was really great to meet you. I love talking to you. Thank you for taking the time. Can I connect with you on LinkedIn? Or is there a business card that you can share with me?" Does that make sense?
Yes, that does. And another question, so you should definitely keep, I guess, your elevator pitch, not too brief and short, but also not too long. It should just be just a short introduction of yourself.
Exactly. 60 seconds max. It's called an elevator pitch based off the nickname or based off the idea that when you get in an elevator, when you go from one floor to another, in that amount of time, you should be able to pitch yourself and introduce yourself to someone. And even as short of an interaction as that, those short interactions are big opportunities. So that's why it's called an elevator pitch.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Jacqueline says, let's say you don't have much experience. How should you present yourself then? Or say your elevator pitch or etc. work experience to impress them. It's okay if you don't have a lot of experience. Your experience is going to be surrounded on being a student. That's been your priority. That's been your core experience. And so if you don't have a lot of experience in the field, what it's important to talk about is your interests, your passion. You want to talk about what your goals are. So if I didn't have a lot of experience, I could say, "Hi, my name is Asha Wilson. I am a graduating senior from Southeastern Louisiana University, majoring in social work. My goal is to go into mental health, specializing in trauma and grief. So far, I have worked in the community, working with different organizations that serve survivors of trauma. And I hope to get an internship so that I can continue to grow my skills. I really love your organization because it aligns with my own mission, vision, and values. And I feel that I can accomplish my goals as a member of your team." So do you see how instead of talking about my experiences and my history and my accomplishments, that wasn't the focus. The focus was instead on the future and my present values and beliefs. So it's okay to talk a little bit more about how you're feeling personally about the organization or the field. Does that help? Awesome. Great. Any other questions? Ivan, you got another. Go for it.
So yeah, just kind of going off of what they said in the chat. I have some work experience, but it may just not be relevant towards something professional as seen at the career fair. But I wonder, would it be okay to, just because I don't have the professional experience, I could tie in what I've learned at the job. So like people skills, customer service, teamwork, all that into what I could apply to one of these jobs.
Exactly. So an example of that could be, as a social worker, I really believe in serving others. Part of that is customer service. And in the 7 years that I've been in the customer service industry, whether that be in hospitality, retail, or restaurant businesses, I really believe in making sure that a customer's needs are met. And so I feel that while I might not have any professional experience, I, No. While I might not have any experience directly in this field, I have a lot of transferable skills that I can offer your organization. Does that make sense?
Yes, I like how you use transferable skills. I'm definitely gonna point that out.
Yes, because so much of what you do, whether it, even if it doesn't have anything to do with the particular field that you want to go into, you're still gaining tons of experience and skills and developing your strengths at whatever job you're doing. And there are so many skills that you're building that are going to be transferable to any field. Any field is going to need interpersonal skills, is going to need teamwork, is going to use some hard skills that you have developed. So you definitely want to highlight those. Don't discount them at all, because then you're discounting yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? We have time. Okay, so now I have a question for you. Either raise your hand and you can say it, or you can type it in the chat. Oh, wait, hold on. We have a question. How do you come up with it on the spot? Like the way I'm answering your question. Okay, so you do not come up with an elevator pitch on the spot. This is something that you need to take a few hours to develop ahead of time. Follow the format that was in the video and like what I've been discussing to identify your points. What points do you want to speak about in your elevator pitch? Do you want to talk about your experiences or your passions? Do you want to talk about your interests or your accomplishments? You decide. And then you come up with this elevator pitch and then you practice it. Practice it in the mirror, practice it with your friends or your family. You don't want to practice it and have it so rehearsed that it comes off robotic, but you want to at least have this information, these points in your mind so that as you're speaking, you're able to kind of go through the checklist. Okay, I mentioned my name. I mentioned my status as a student or as a graduate. Okay, I mentioned that this is my value or my interest. I mentioned my personal experience. Like you'll be able to go through it in your head as you're saying it and you're checking it off, those things that you said. It's also good to internalize all this information about yourself so that it's just coming out naturally in conversation. All you're doing is speaking fact. You're just organizing these facts into a 1 minute spoken paragraph, if that makes sense. So yeah, preparing your elevator pitch in advance is one of the most important parts of being able to introduce yourself effectively and carry yourself professionally. Does that clarify? Awesome. Okay, so I want to hear from y'all, unless anybody has any questions. And if you do, go ahead and ask. But I want to know what is one thing that you are going to do to prepare, either prepare for or just when you're attending your next networking event? What is one thing you're going to do? Everybody take a turn. Because we're engaging. Go for it.
So I've never researched companies before getting into an interview or talking to them. So I'm definitely going to research and see what I find passionate or interesting about their company and how that could tie to me. I'm definitely going to practice the elevator pitch and not make it too rehearsed, but try to just add a little character and just personality to it. and yeah, just kind of take what I've learned here and kind of try to apply it in my own way.
Awesome. That's great. That's exactly it. Someone else said that they are going to practice their elevator pitch, update their resume, and study their resume for possible questions they may ask. That is great. All right, go Ellie.
Definitely make sure my LinkedIn account is updated and ready to go for whenever I request their information.
Awesome. So good. I didn't even, mention preparing a LinkedIn. We have a whole nother workshop for that. So that's super great that you made that connection with LinkedIn and that you're going to get that ready. That's exciting. And if y'all ever need help with LinkedIn, please make a one-on-one appointment with us. We can literally go over your LinkedIn line by line and make sure it's optimized. Okay, who's next? What are you going to do moving forward to prepare for your next networking event? We have 1, 2, 3 students who have yet to contribute to the conversation, and I'm going to call on you if someone doesn't volunteer in the next few seconds. Because in these workshops, we engage. Okay, Daniel, what will you do and what is your plan to prepare for whatever networking event you plan on attending in the future? You can type it in the chat or you can say it out loud. It's up to you. Ah, I gotcha. Thank you for letting me know. Appreciate that. All right. What about you, Young Meng? Anything? Okay, well, I won't force you. So I hope that now that you're thinking about what you're going to do next, that you have a little bit of momentum to get going. We really want y'all to know that we are here to support you in your career readiness journey as you endeavor to begin or continue networking, as you begin to identify with well, as you begin to develop your professional identity, we are here to support you in that. So I want to thank you for coming to our workshop Wednesday about career fair prep. Thank you so much for engaging and interacting and contributing and also listening. Y'all all had really great questions as well. So in case you came to the workshop late, on your screen is a QR code that we would love you to use to sign in so that we can register your attendance to our workshop. Just follow the instructions on the screen so that you are able to sign in. Again, thank you so much for attending. We hope to see you next time.